Dobardan, Divine Pisces 222. It is Friday, May 15th, 2020. I'm going to do an energy check-in for the Twin Flames today. See what we got going on here. Alright, already seeing some repeat cards, so some of the energy is still the same. So it would appear. Yeah, okay, so definitely some triggers coming in right now, guys. Definitely some, I would say definitely getting a lot of information from Source right now. Some of you, I feel this is coming in maybe when you meditate. And some of you, it's actually the 5D connection with your counterpart that's triggering you right now. Some of you are getting triggers because of that, and it's causing a purge. And notice you have two here, so it's the twins. So I feel like this is actually both twins right now are purging because of a trigger. So you're triggering each other right now by way of the 5D mostly. Okay, and I do feel a little bit of ego coming in here that's actually triggering some of this purging. So I know I've mentioned this before. Some of you may be repeating cycles here, and this may actually be within your connection, or it may actually be an external situation that's highlighting something within your connection that's triggering you here, okay? Ego's kind of coming into play, putting that little voice in your head saying, remember what happened last time, yada, yada, yada. Some of you may have some towers coming, not always bad towers, okay? Could be epiphanies, that sort of thing, which, you know, this here a lot of times to me represents epiphanies as well. So it could be epiphanies that are coming in as well. Some of you are very triggered because of that. And not always a bad trigger either. It could just be a, oh my gosh, yes, I get that now, okay? But it still could trigger a purge too, because you're still releasing something, okay? Still feeling a little bit of impatience coming in within the collective. A lot of anxiety coming in, I feel. And that could be that trigger that you're feeling as well. Some of you feeling the pull, maybe. It kind of comes through sometimes as anxiety. And some of you I just feel are really triggered to just move. Like you're tired of sitting still. Like some of you have been quote unquote sitting still for way too long. You've kind of been in that waiting energy for a hot minute. Okay. Some of you kind of hiding out from some of your triggers, trying to avoid the triggers, trying to avoid purging, just kind of, you know, going within yourself to have to avoid facing some things. But it's really time to come out of that now. And I think a lot of you are recognizing that now, though, and you are coming out. And it could be why you're triggered right now, is because you have been kind of in that waiting energy. And so something is kind of jolting you to get out of that and to move forward and to take care of yourself. So a lot of us kind of turning back again into ourselves and finding that self-confidence. Some of us had lost when these massive, massive towers happened earlier this year. I feel a lot of us coming out of those energies though. So I do feel positive movement. Okay. Which is good, obviously, because you don't want to be sitting in that waiting energy for too long. You actually want to move forward regardless of what's happening. Okay. A lot of you are triggered to do that. It's good, 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 good news. All right, let's take a look at Divine Masculine. Yeah, okay, so I tell you, Divine Masculine is definitely triggered right now. I feel a lot of Divine Masculines are triggered to move. Divine Masculine may be triggered to communicate as well, okay? So some of you, Divine Feminines, may get some communication from your counterpart. Again, it could be in the 5D, could be in the 3D. You're already getting communication, some of you. Okay, but just in general, I feel Divine Masculine is really, really triggered to move. A lot of them have also been sitting still, kind of sitting in there, some of their external situations, 3D situations, whatever it may be, and just kind of, I mean, it's good that they're kind of taking things day by day, but at the same time, they've been kind of sitting in that energy. And I know then this last week, there's been a kind of a drastic change in Divine Masculine's energy. Divine Masculine is very, very motivated to release some of these things, okay, to release the karma, to release some of their situations, to release literally the things that no longer serve them, right? And so they're doing that. And the way that they're doing that, of course, you know, a lot of them are setting their boundaries right now in some external situations. They could be setting boundaries with Divine Feminine as well, setting boundaries with themselves, okay? Setting boundaries with their ego, so to speak, because their ego has been running rampant there for a while. And as they've been going through these awakenings, you know, the death of the ego is a very painful process. So a lot of purging coming in for Divine Masculine, a lot of feeling sorry for oneself, victim consciousness, that sort of thing. And so, that being said, that's part of the reason I do feel a lot of Divine Masculines have been in hermit mode, trying to avoid that, trying to avoid having to face what they need to face, right? But they're coming out of that now. They're coming out of that, okay? They're releasing that defeat, that defeatist attitude, the victim consciousness that was coming in there for a while, okay? And learning to step into their power. And some of them are going into their feminine energy again, okay? Which is kind of helping with the purging, embracing their spirituality, listening to their intuition. And some of them also are watching Divine Feminine again, okay? Some of them may have stopped watching Divine Feminine, like energetically, actually watching, whatever, you know, I'm not necessarily saying stalker-like, but I mean, like, you know, maybe seeking out in the 5D for comfort or for answers and that sort of thing, but also in the 3D, possibly trying to test the waters, see where Divine Feminine is, but also noticing that a lot of Divine Feminines have put up their boundaries here, have kind of put up a wall here, you know, especially as far as the energy goes, and they know that Divine Feminine is done sending them energy willy-nilly, okay? But yeah, a lot of Divine Masculines, you know, coming out of this heartache mentality as well. But still some of them a little bit hesitant to communicate their truth, even though they are triggered to. Okay, so we're beginning here with a trigger to communicate and to move, but we're ending with being held back, or feeling like they're being held back to actually communicate. So the energy is there, the want is there to communicate. But whether they will or not, of course, it all comes down to free will. Okay, they do have free will. All right. But the energy is there. Motivation is there. Some of them may not know what to say. Some of them feel foolish. Some of them do. Some of them feel like they haven't been fair. You know, that they've been... what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of trying to manipulate the situation, hiding from the truth, that sort of thing. And some of them just feel really foolish. They feel really dumb. Okay, so it is what it is. You know, they'll eventually get over it, or they won't. Whatever. Okay, it depends on the Divine Masculine. It shouldn't impact you though, Divine Feminine. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. So taking a look at Divine Feminine, yeah, a lot of you are also releasing some victim consciousness here. A lot of you have been really beating yourselves up about some of these cycles that are coming through, overthinking them. It's been causing like some instability emotionally, okay? And so I feel like Divine Feminine is finally in that energy of not wanting to be there anymore, and she's moving out of that, okay? So coming out of the darkness, releasing the emotions that she needs to release, purging appropriately, you know, coming out of that darkness and moving back into a space where she's finally taking care of herself. Because I do feel a lot of Divine Feminines were so much entangled in this darkness, in these triggers that were coming up, okay, these towers, whatever it was. Some of you literally had forgotten to take care of yourselves. Some of you have been so depressed you maybe weren't eating properly, literally, like maybe weren't exercising, you know, things like that, simple things. Just had no motivation to do that, right? But Divine Feminine kind of coming back into that, going, you know what, I need to get back into my center, right? I need to get back into a good place. I need to reconnect with Source, reconnect with my spirit team, and move forward instead of sitting in this darkness, right? Now, some of you, I feel some Divine Feminines are wanting to communicate with their Divine Counterpart at this time as well. Some of you are really feeling the loss of communication here. Really kind of longing for communication, almost like you just want to share what's been going on with you, maybe with Divine Masculine, or wanting to know what Divine Masculine's been going through, you know, because maybe some of you are, again, you know, seeing some things. Divine Masculine is communicating with you, maybe showing you some things in your dream space, okay? And it's making you question some things, you know, well, what is he really going through? Is this real? Is what he's showing me here real? Right? So some of you are just kind of, again, overthinking, which could actually be what's triggering you as well right now, Okay, so you need to kind of release that. But as far as the connection goes, I do feel Divine Feminine is kind of back in the energy of wanting to release the connection in general, even though, you know, there is that longing, of course, you know, but Divine Feminine is, of course, always going to lead energetically. So once you decide to release something, it's going to help Divine Masculine to release something. So if it takes you to release the connection for Divine Masculine to release the external situation, you know, a lot of you are recognizing that. Because remember, just because, you know, when we talk about mirroring, it doesn't necessarily mean that the situation is exactly the same, but the energy is the same. Okay? But yeah, so Divine Feminine kind of coming back again into an energy of wanting to manifest her abundance, right? Getting out of this heartache, this low vibration here, moving through the purging here to come back into her bliss so that she can manifest what she wants to manifest. Because when you're in a low vibration trying to manifest, it doesn't work. It doesn't, okay? So you want to change your energy first before you try to manifest your abundance or whatever it is you're trying to manifest, really, okay? If it's something positive. All right. Connecting energies. Yeah, well, surprise, surprise. So more karma being cleared within the connection right now. And I do feel this is actually, a lot of this is related to not just communication, but I feel like just truth in general. Like there's some past life stuff coming up here. Some deceit, some definitely betrayal, obviously, but like some major deceit coming in here. Almost like, maybe not intentional deceit, almost like, as an example, maybe like in a past life, there was a situation where you may have been together with your counterpart and maybe somehow there was a separation and there was a promise of returning and it didn't happen. You know, something to that effect. I mean, death could have come into play. Whatever, anything could have come into play there, okay? But I definitely feel that a lot of you at this time are trying to, like I said, overthink. You're really overthinking some of this stuff too. And that's what's keeping you stuck in this karmic cycle. And it's okay to evaluate and to analyze and to try to learn, obviously, but you don't want to sit there stuck in this karmic cycle over and over and over again, okay? And if you're having trouble understanding, maybe that's what you need to release, is to release the understanding. Well, I don't understand why this is happening. Okay, well, maybe you don't understand, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't serve a purpose. So, you know, accepting things as they are, accepting what the universe is trying to show you, and to release it, okay? And to set your boundaries with yourself too, and to keep yourself from overthinking, keep your ego from coming in, keeping you in that loop over and over and over again, right? Because it's really about being in your authentic truth without letting ego coming in and telling you something that's false, and keeping you in that loop where it like you keep thinking it, so therefore it becomes true. Does that make sense? Your perception is your reality, right? So if you get out of that cycle, if you say, you know what, no, this is not true. Just because I don't understand it, it doesn't mean that there's not a purpose. I'm not going to sit here and overthink. I'm not going to let my ego make stuff up about the situation. I'm not going to let it trigger me. I'm going to release it because I'm tired of being in this cycle, basically. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, some of you have been stuck here because of that. Some of you have been stuck in non-action because your ego is literally just running amok. Okay. So it's time to literally claim victory over that and say, you know what? No more inner conflict here. Okay. No more ego coming in and telling me what's true. Okay. I'm going to stand up for myself. Right. And that's what's happening within the connection. I feel that it's like I really feel like this is a past life thing that's coming up right now. Whatever's being cleared right now has to do with a past life. yeah, whatever this is that Divine Feminine's been feeling, some of you recognizing this in the current cycle right now that's happening. Could be with your counterpart, but it could be externally, okay? But what it's doing in the connection here is it's bringing up some past life stuff, okay? Some past life betrayals specifically is what I'm talking about here, okay? That's been kind of keeping you stuck in a particular cycle just in general in your life. And some of us, you know, we repeat cycles a couple of times, but some of us see a continuous pattern in our lives that we constantly repeat, okay? And some of you are probably sitting down thinking back and back and back as far as you can, and you're noticing it's the same pattern every single time. Why is this happening? To clear it. It's coming up because it needs to be cleared. It needs to be cleared, and it's something that's happening or had happened or is happening within the connection that is needing to be cleared, that for some reason we're having a really hard time letting go. Okay? So do yourself a favor, do some meditation. Like, if you're not understanding something, it's okay to ask Source for an answer. Just make sure you're opening yourself up to the answer. The answer will come eventually. It will come eventually. It may not come when you want it to, okay? You may have to go through something first. You may have to actually release that you don't understand in order for the clarity to come first. Okay, that's happened to me. Like, I've had to get to a point where I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay that I don't understand. I'm just going to purge this. I'm going to release it. I'm not going to let it happen to me anymore. And then, you know, a couple of days later, I got an answer. Okay, so it could literally be a test of, well, can you handle not knowing? Sometimes there are no answers, and you have to release that. Okay? All right, let's get some messages from the counterparts. And that could actually be, you know, Divine Feminine. You know, you've been wondering what's been happening to your counterpart. That might be what you need to release right now. Okay, some of you are back in that, wondering what's going on with your counterpart. Especially if they've reappeared either energetically in the 3D, or if you've noticed them stalking your Instagram or your Facebook or something like that. It could have triggered you going, oh my gosh, I wonder what they're up to. I wonder what they're doing, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of gotten you back into that obsessive cycle. See what I'm saying? So maybe you haven't released it as well as you thought you did. Yeah, it's funny how that happens. All right, so messages. Yeah. Okay. All right, messages and advice. Here. Yeah, boom, there you go, right at the top. Acceptance. Acceptance that you don't know, and it's okay that you don't know. Okay, I think that's the key right now. It's okay that you don't know. Okay, and to get back into your bliss, find that happy place, bring that vibration up, guys. Okay, some of you have just been way overthinking some of these situations, okay, and it's affecting your ability to co-create. It's affecting your ability to manifest, okay, your new beginning or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest right now. Okay, it's been keeping you stuck. So there's something, I definitely feel it has to do with the knowing, and that's a codependency. The codependency of knowing, of having to know everything all the time. Okay, that's a codependency within itself, and that needs to be released for some of you, most of you probably. And I mean, I myself am included in that, because I'm that person that I will just think something to death. Okay, I will sit there and just ruminate and ruminate and ruminate, and my ego's going nuts with me, and then I make up all this stuff in my head, and then I get really, really upset about it, and then it turns out it's not even true. It happens to me all the time. So I've had to get to the point where when I notice that cycle, when I notice that I'm getting trapped in that again, that I have to say, you know what? It's okay that I don't know. I release it to the universe. I release it to God, to Source, whoever. I'm taking this burden off of me. You know what's right for me. I'm going to trust that everything is going the way it should. I'm going to purge and I'm going to release. It's okay that I don't know. Okay? So sometimes you just have to sit down and an actual heart-to-heart talk with yourself. Okay? Do what you gotta do. All right, guys, I hope this has helped. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.